Classic Spider-Man Earth 616. In Earth 616, Peter Parker, also known as Spider-Man, was born in Queens, New York, to CIA agents Richard and Mary Parker. Following his parents' tragic death, Peter was adopted by his uncle and aunt, Ben and May Parker. He grew up in Forest Hills, New York, and became a prodigy at Midtown High School. At 15, Peter attended a science exhibition where he was bitten by a genetically altered spider, granting him superhuman powers. He soon discovered his abilities, including super strength, agility, and a precognitive spider sense. Peter's initial use of his powers was for personal gain, but after his beloved Uncle Ben was murdered by a burglar he could have stopped earlier, Peter realized his responsibility to use his powers for the greater good. As Spider-Man, Peter faced numerous challenges, including financial struggles and a smear campaign by J. Jonah Jameson, owner of the Daily Bugle. Despite these obstacles, Spider-Man continued to fight crime and protect the innocent, battling villains like Dr. Octopus, the Sandman, and the Green Goblin. Peter's career as Spider-Man was marked by his determination to balance his personal life with his responsibilities as a superhero. He eventually found a way to earn money by selling photos of himself in action to the Daily Bugle, while continuing to fight crime and protect New York City. Peter's life as Spider-Man continued to evolve during his college years at Empire State University. He befriended Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy, and his social life expanded. However, his responsibilities as Spider-Man persisted. The Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, discovered Spider-Man's identity and kidnapped him. Tragedy struck when Gwen Stacy died during a battle between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The Goblin escaped, but was later impaled by his glider during a subsequent confrontation with Spider-Man. Peter's personal life became increasingly complicated. He began to develop feelings for Mary Jane Watson, who comforted him after Gwen's death. Meanwhile, Harry Osborn discovered Spider-Man's identity and sought revenge for his father's death. Peter's life as Spider-Man underwent significant changes after Mephisto altered reality, erasing his secret identity and marriage to Mary Jane. He joined the Fantastic Four and formed Parker Industries. As Spider-Man, he battled various villains, including Dr. Octopus. Peter's personal life was affected when Carly Cooper discovered his secret identity. He helped Cindy Moon become the superhero Silk and played a crucial role in the Spider-Verse event. As Spider-Man, Peter faced new challenges, including the biotech company New You, led by the Jackal, Ben Reilly. The Jackal's plan was stopped, but not before the release of the carrion virus. Peter would then team up with Teresa Duran to take down the Grey Blade. However, their mission was put on hold due to Hydra's takeover of the United States. Parker Industries headquarters were targeted, and Peter faced off against a duplicate of Dr. Octopus. In other developments, Peter's life took a dark turn when he was infected with Norman Osborn's evil personality. Donning his black suit, Peter became consumed by revenge against those he felt had wronged him. Fortunately, Norman Osborn intervened, using a mystical spear to re-assimilate his evil self and save Peter. However, the corrupted Peter had used the Winkler device to store a copy of his Norman's corrupted mind, which would later be reactivated. When Norman was exposed as the Green Goblin again, he and Peter engaged in a brutal fight. Norman revealed that he had a perfect recollection of everything during Peter's possession, including the Winkler device programming. Using the code phrase, Norman reactivated the corrupted Peter, who began to laugh maniacally. Norman dispatched the new Spider-Goblin to take down the Sinister Six. Peter brutalized all of them, but Ben Reilly, Chasm, intervened and used his psycho-reactive goo to reseal the Winkler device's programming, giving Peter back control of himself. Peter reclaimed the mystical spear and modified it to transfer the programming into its source template, Norman's mind. In their final confrontation, Norman used the spear to transfer himself, the sins, back into Peter's body. However, the living brain intervened, trapping the Goblin personality in Peter's mindscape. The Goblin, overwhelmed by Peter's light, would then disintegrate into nothingness. Ultimate Spider-Man Earth 1610. In the Ultimate Spider-Man Spider-Verse, Earth 1610, Peter Parker's origin story unfolds differently than in the original narrative. His father, Richard Parker, was a renowned scientist collaborating with SHIELD to reverse engineer the super soldier formula. During an experiment, Dr. Bruce Banner, who was working alongside Richard, mistakenly believed he had solved the formula and tested it on himself. This catastrophic error led to Banner's transformation into the Hulk, resulting in the destruction of the research facility. On the day of the incident, Richard had briefly left the facility to visit his wife, Mary, and their infant son, Peter. The Hulk's rampage severely injured Richard and Mary, and they later succumbed to their injuries in a plane crash, along with Eddie Brock, a family friend. Peter was subsequently taken in by his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, who raised him as their own. Peter's transformation into Spider-Man occurred during a high school field trip to Osborn Industries, where he was bitten by a genetically altered spider exposed to the OZ compound, a prototype super soldier serum created by Norman Osborn. The spider's bite granted Peter superhuman strength, agility, speed, stamina, and the ability to stick to and crawl on surfaces. As Spider-Man, Peter initially used his powers for personal gain, participating in a local wrestling challenge and winning. However, after his Uncle Ben was murdered by a burglar that Peter could have stopped earlier, he felt overwhelming guilt and decided to use his powers to fight crime and protect the innocent. Peter's life became complicated as he navigated relationships with Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. He faced various villains, including the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Electro. Peter's secret identity was eventually revealed to Mary Jane. As Spider-Man, Peter continued to fight crime, teaming up with the Ultimates to battle the Ultimate Six. He also encountered other heroes, including the Black Cat, and fought against villains like the Punisher and Boomerang. During a battle with the Gladiator, Spider-Man was severely injured and sought treatment from Dr. Curtis Connors. This led to the creation of a semi-clone, which began feeding on humans to grow in strength and size. Peter confronted Dr. Connors, who confessed to the DNA splicing. Peter then fought the creature, eventually tricking it into jumping into an industrial chimney. Peter's life continued to evolve as he encountered new heroes and villains. He began dating Kitty Pryde from the X-Men and faced off against Mysterio. Peter's aunt, Mary, allowed Johnny Storm and Bobby Drake to stay with them, and Peter teamed up with Johnny to fight against an unknown creature. After Peter's 16th birthday, he learned that Norman Osborn and his Six had escaped prison. While searching for Osborn, Peter saw the Punisher aiming at Captain America and intervened, taking the bullet instead. Peter fought Osborn and his team, but was mortally wounded. As he lay dying, he told Aunt May that he had saved the people he cared about, despite being unable to save Uncle Ben. Peter passed away, surrounded by his loved ones. The public soon discovered Peter's secret identity, and a large funeral was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral. A masked vigilante, later revealed to be Miles Morales, began fighting crime in Peter's place. Mary Jane became determined to prove Nick Fury responsible for Peter's death. Fury eventually confessed to being at fault, and Mary Jane decided not to publish the information. In a surprising turn of events, Peter woke up in an abandoned laboratory, not knowing where he was. He returned to New York and encountered Mary Jane. They dug up his coffin, finding it empty. Peter planned to leave the city, not wanting to reveal his return to Aunt May or Stacy. Peter recovered his web shooters from Miles Morales' apartment and saw Miles fighting the Green Goblin. Peter intervened, helping Miles defeat the villain. Norman Osborn escaped, and Peter sought refuge at Mary Jane's house. Peter explained his survival to Miles, stating he did not want to return but felt compelled to fight the Green Goblin. When Osborn arrived, Peter fought him alongside Miles. Osborn revealed that the OZ formula granted immortality, explaining Peter's survival. Peter helped Miles defeat Osborn, who was immolated by Director Hill. Peter passed on the identity of Spider-Man and his web shooters to Miles, intending to find the truth behind his resurrection. However, he later met with Mary Jane, and they drove away to live a quiet life together. Following the temporary destruction and restoration of the universe, Peter resumed his role as Spider-Man. He fought the returned Green Goblin with the Ultimates' assistance before attending a party to welcome Kong back from the army. Spider-Gwen, Earth 65. Gwen Stacy, a resident of Earth 65 born in Forest Hills to George and Helen Stacy, was raised by her father after her mother's death. Gwen's artistic inclinations and free spirit often clashed with her father's ethics. She would then find solace in playing the drums and developed a friendship with her neighbor Peter Parker, bonding over their shared love of music. At Midtown High School, Gwen formed relationships with fellow students, including Harry Osborn, and formed the band The Mary Janes. After being bitten by a genetically engineered spider, Gwen gained arachnid-like superpowers and became the crime fighter Spider-Woman. Gwen's early adventures focused on maintaining her newfound newfound attention rather than helping those in need. However, after her father expressed his belief in Spider-Woman's potential to help people, Gwen's behavior changed. She began fighting crime more seriously, but her actions led to the death of Peter Parker, who had transformed into a lizard-like creature. Haunted by Peter's death, Gwen doubled her efforts to fight crime and redeem herself. She joined the Spider-Men and became part of the elite counter-symbiote squad. Gwen also became a part-time member of the Web Warriors, helping to protect dimensions that had lost their spider totems. Gwen's life became increasingly complicated as she struggled with the consequences of her actions. She lost her powers, and her father was put on trial for aiding and abetting Spider-Woman. Desperate to save her father, Gwen made a deal with Matt Murdock, who promised to help her regain her powers and cure Harry Osborn, who had been mutated by the lizard serum. However, Gwen soon realized that Murdock's plan was a trap, and she refused to go along with it. She teamed up with Shadowcat and Logan to stop Harry, who had fully transformed into the lizard. Using her isotopes, Gwen turned the lizard serum in Harry's veins into venom, which subsequently bonded to her. As Venom, Gwen became increasingly aggressive and violent, seeking revenge against Murdock and the Rhino, who had hurt her father. However, her desire for vengeance was soon overshadowed by her concern for her father's well-being and her own morality. Gwen's story took a darker turn as she struggled with the influence of the Venom symbiote and her own desire for revenge. She eventually broke free from the symbiote's control and began to make amends for her past mistakes. Gwen revealed her dual identities to her friends and family and continued to fight for justice, determined to make a positive impact on her community. Spider-Man Noir, Earth 90214. In this Spider-Verse, Peter Parker was raised by his paternal aunt and uncle, May and Ben Parker, during the Great Depression. His uncle's murder, orchestrated by Norman Osborn, drove Peter's resolve to seek justice. He began working with investigative journalist Ben Urich at the Daily Bugle, exploring the dire situation of New York City's citizens, particularly those under Osborn's tyranny. Peter's life took a dramatic turn when he received a tip-off meant for Urich, leading him to a warehouse where Osborn's men were unloading stolen antiques. A spider broke free from a spider idol, biting Peter and granting him arachnid superpowers. Donning a mask, Peter confronted Osborn, but was shocked to discover Urich's dark secret. The journalist was blackmailing Osborn for his own gain. Peter became the vigilante Spider-Man, fighting against Osborn's criminal operations. He later teamed up with the Web Warriors, a group of Spider-Men from various dimensions, to stop the Inheritors, a family of powerful beings who threatened the multiverse. During the battle, Spider-Man sacrificed himself to destroy the Inheritors' cloning technology. However, he was resurrected by the Spider-God, who claimed his service was not yet over. Peter continued his adventures as Spider-Man, eventually teaming up with Miles Morales to stop Nazi Germany and retrieve the spider idol that granted him his powers. Peter also became embroiled in a mystery involving the Cicada Stone and the Macron Crystal. His investigation led him to Dr. Huma Bergman, who revealed herself to be the goddess Inanna. Spider-Man navigated treacherous alliances and ancient mythologies, ultimately destroying the Macron Crystal and returning to the world of the living. Later, Peter was bitten by one of Shathra's spider wasps, becoming a wasp totem under her control. He was sent to Earth 616 to attack the local Spider-Man and other spider totems. However, after Shathra's defeat, Peter was freed from her corruption. Peter was eventually asked to join the Spider Society, a group dedicated to protecting the multiverse. He became embroiled in a battle against the Sinister Squadron, a team of villains from various dimensions. Spider-Ham Earth 8311, Spider-Ham, also known as Peter Porker, is a superhero in the Spider-Verse, specifically Earth 8311. He is a superhero appearing in American comic books and is characterized as an anthropomorphic pig, which is a cartoon animal parody version of Spider-Man. Originally a spider, Peter was transformed into an anthropomorphic pig after being bitten by May Porker, who had been exposed to radiation from an atomic-powered hairdryer created by her husband, a goofy animal scientist. Peter retained his spider abilities, including superhuman strength, agility, and reflexes, as well as a precognitive spider sense that warns him of danger. He dedicated himself to fighting injustice and protecting the innocent as Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham's early adventures included teaming up with Captain America to thwart the masked Marauder's nefarious plot, which led to the creation of the Hulk Bunny. He also encountered encountered various other menaces, including Dr. Doom, a brilliant but evil scientist, the Bullfrog, a humanoid frog with superhuman strength, and Hogzilla, a giant monstrous pig. Spider-Ham joined the Spider Army, a team of spider-powered heroes from across the multiverse, to oppose the Inheritors, a family of powerful beings who threatened to destroy the fabric of reality. During this conflict, Spider-Ham played a key role in disrupting the Inheritors' plans, and ultimately helped to defeat them. During the Battle World era, Spider-Ham was recreated in the domain of Arachnia, a realm filled with spider-powered heroes and villains. He later joined forces with other spider heroes, including Spider-Man, Paviator Prabhakar, and Spider-Woman, to stop Norman Osborn's sinister plans. Spider-Ham's adventures continued as he navigated the complexities of the multiverse. He partnered with Penguin, a brilliant and resourceful hero, to apprehend villains scattered across the multiverse by the Ringmaster, a powerful and manipulative villain. Spider-Ham was eventually taken from his reality to Earth 616, where he encountered Pete Spiderman, a fellow spider hero from another universe. The two spiders clashed initially, with Spider-Ham finding Pete's goofy and carefree attitude to be annoying. However, they ultimately worked together to save people from a burning building, and Spider-Ham came to appreciate Pete's unique perspective and skills. Spider-Ham responded to a break-in at Beyond Corporation, where he encountered Green Gobbler attempting industrial espionage. After defeating the villain, Spider-Ham was sent to Earth 93,726, where he reunited with Pigel O'Malley, a brilliant and confident hero. The two spiders traveled across numerous realities in the multiverse, joined by Spider-Rex and Goblosaurus from Earth 66. They eventually returned to Earth 8311 and reunited with Black Catfish and Mary Jane Water Buffalo. Spider-Ham conceded that Pigel was the professional and gave him the Time Cube, a powerful device that allowed them to travel through time and space. The two spiders parted ways, and Peter was later recruited by Miguel O'Hara or Anya Corazon to join the Spider Society, a team of spider-powered heroes dedicated to protecting the multiverse. Spider-Man 2099, Earth 928. Miguel O'Hara, a brilliant engineer of Irish and Mexican descent, was born in 2099 on Earth 928. His mother, Conchata, had an affair with her husband's boss, Tyler Stone, resulting in Miguel's conception. Unaware of his true parentage, Miguel grew up believing his stepfather was his biological father. As an adult, Miguel worked for Alchemax, a powerful corporation that dominated the city. Despite his reservations about the company's ethics, Miguel's exceptional skills in genetics earned him a prominent position. However, when Tyler Stone pressured him to test a process that imprinted genetic codes onto human physiology, Miguel reluctantly complied. The experiment failed, transforming the test subject into a monstrous creature that quickly perished. This incident was the catalyst for Miguel's transformation into Spider-Man 2099. After being coerced into taking a hallucinogenic drug called Rapture, Miguel discovered that the only way to overcome his addiction was to undergo the same genetic procedure that had killed the test subject. The process was sabotaged by his supervisor, Aaron Delgato, but Miguel survived and gained spider-like abilities. Miguel's newfound powers led him to become the vigilante Spider-Man 2099. He clashed with various villains, including the Vulture, a cannibalistic foe, and the Specialist, a ruthless mercenary. During his battles, Miguel also encountered other heroes, such as the Thorites, a group of warriors devoted to the Norse god of thunder. As Spider-Man 2099, Miguel navigated the complexities of his new identity while confronting the dark secrets of his past. He eventually discovered that Tyler Stone was his biological father, a revelation that further complicated his relationships with his family and colleagues. Miguel's adventures took him through time and space as he joined forces with other Spider-Men from different dimensions. Together, they formed the Spider Army, a coalition dedicated to protecting the multiverse from threats such as the Inheritors, a family of powerful beings that sought to destroy entire universes. Throughout his journey, Miguel faced numerous challenges and conflicts, both personal and superhero related. Nevertheless, he remained committed to his mission as Spider-Man 2099, using his intelligence, courage, and spider powers to defend the innocent and fight against injustice. Spider-Punk Earth 138. In the Spider-Punk Spider-Verse, Earth 138, Hobie Brown, a teenager with a penchant for punk rock, was living in a dystopian America ruled by the fascist regime of President Norman Osborn. After being bitten by a spider irradiated by illegal waste dumping, Hobie gained spider-like abilities and became the Spider-Punk, a rebellious hero fighting against Osborn's oppressive government. As the leader of the Spider Army, Spider-Punk utilized his free spirit and punk rock music to rally support from the marginalized communities targeted by Osborn's regime. With the help of his friends, Captain Anarchy, Carl Morningdew, and the Hulk, Robbie Banner, Spider-Punk continued to resist Osborn's forces. During the Battleworld era, Spider-Punk joined forces with other spider-powered heroes from across the multiverse to oppose the Inheritors, a family of vampiric beings that threatened the fabric of reality. He played a crucial role in the battle against the Inheritors, using his punk rock music to disable their enemies. After the Inheritors' defeat, Spider-Punk returned to his universe, where he continued to fight against Osborn's remnants. He was recruited by the Web Warriors, a team of spider-powered heroes from across the multiverse, to help them deal with various threats. Spider-Punk's adventures took him to different universes, where he encountered various versions of himself and other spider-powered heroes. He joined forces with Spider-Ham, Spider-Gwen, and other heroes to stop the villainous Dr. Octopus and his minions. In his own universe, Spider-Punk continued to resist Osborn's forces, who were secretly backed by the villainous Taskmaster. With the help of his friends, including Kamala Khan, Riri Williams, and Matea, the Daredevil drummer, Spider-Punk defeated Osborn's forces and put an end to his regime. However, a new threat would then emerge in the form of Cletus Cassidy, who obtained a piece of Osborn's symbiote and impersonated Spider-Punk. The real Spider-Punk confronted Cassidy and removed the symbiote from his brain, freeing himself from its influence. Spider-Punk would then participate in the Battle of the Bands at the Daily Bugle, where he and his team, the Spider Band, competed against the Sinister Six-Piece. Using his punk rock music, Spider-Punk defeated the Six-Piece and saved the day. During Shathra's reign, Spider-Punk was stung by her spider wasps and converted into her servant. He was sent to Earth 616 as part of Shathra's final attack on its Peter Parker. However, he was eventually freed from Shathra's control and returned to his normal self. Sometime later, Spider-Punk was recruited by either Miguel O'Hara of Earth 2099 or Anya Corazon of Earth 616 to join the Spider Society, a team of spider-powered heroes dedicated to protecting the multiverse. Penny Parker, Earth 14512. In the Earth 14512 universe of the Spider-Verse, Penny Parker's life took a significant turn at the age of 9. Her father, the pilot of the SP/Dr. Suit, passed away, and she was entrusted by her Uncle Ben and Aunt May to carry on the project. Penny accepted the responsibility, allowing the radioactive spider that formed the other half of SP/DR's CPU to bite her. 5 years later, at 14, Penny encountered the supervillain Mysterio, who was piloting an enormous orb and infecting New York's population with hallucinogenic gas. Despite being affected, Penny successfully subdued Mysterio. Daredevil then informed her that Mysterio was cooperating with the authorities, exposing an illegal biological enhancement ring. Penny assisted Daredevil in subduing a gang, and later met Peter Porker and Ezekiel Sims, who warned her about the spider totems being hunted. Following the events of Spider-Verse, Penny was approached by Addie Brock, who inquired about her connection to the SP/Dr. Suite. Penny's inquiry about the Sim engine led to a conversation with her Uncle Ben and Aunt May. She later discovered Addie was the pilot of the VENOM suit. When MORBIUS threatened New York, Penny deployed the SP/Dr. Suite but was overpowered. Venom was deployed, but Addie lost control and Aunt May was assimilated into the suit. Penny eventually defeated Venom but found Addie and Aunt May missing. Penny joined the Spider-Men, a group of Spider-Man analogs, to combat the multiversal Sinister Six. She also became part of the elite counter-symbiote squad, capturing rogue symbiotes. Penny was later transported to another universe, where she met Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, and Peter B. Parker. Together, they devised a plan to return to their respective universes using Kingpin's Super Collider. Penny's engineering skills proved invaluable in constructing a new goober. However, their plan was compromised, and they fought against Doc Ock, Tombstone, Scorpion, and Prowler. The SP/Dr. Suit was destroyed, but Penny returned to her home universe and began building a new version of the suit. Penny later joined Miguel O'Hara's Spider Society based on Earth 928. When Miles was brought to their HQ, Miguel informed him that his father Jeff was about to die, and Miles was not allowed to save him. Penny, along with Peter B. Parker and Gwen Stacy, attempted to explain to Miles that they all experienced similar situations, but Miles escaped. Penny subsequently would then join Gwen's new Spider-Man to track down and rescue Miles, who was stranded in a wrong universe.